He's annoying to me. If I give him the opportunity to fight me, I want to be so compensated. I want to say it, I want that money.
I can't get too into John Jones's wheelhouse, but I'll tell you two things. Publicly, he is saying he does not want Tom Aspinall. Privately, he is waiting for a phone call to tell him the date so he can go fight Tom Aspinall. That is as direct with you as I can be. That fight is a 100% go, and they could make it today. Anything that you're hearing that John Jones is holding that fight up, John Jones is having some fun with the fans because the fans have been a bit of jerks to him. As far as fighting Tom Aspinall, take me at my word when I tell you John Jones will be there.
Anything we were making.
John's gonna come back. He's gonna take the hardest fight of his career, who they say is the greatest heavyweight we've ever had. Ends up getting hurt, can't do the fight. Insert a gentleman, Sergey Pavlich. You then told John Jones that he would not fight Sergey Pavlich. In Sergey's very next fight, he went down to a British gentleman called Tom Aspinall. I mean, as sure as night follows day, Tom Aspinall is the guy.
John Jones that kind of shied away from fighting Tom Aspinall leading up to the Stipe fight, which was an absolutely stroke of genius in terms of marketing because it drove the demand through the roof, sky high, made it the fight that everybody wants to see. Well, guess what? The man is going to get paid properly, more than likely. That's the rumor.
Joe Rogan talks about stuff, and at times Joe can be out there. But a lot of times when Joe Rogan speaks mixed martial arts, it tends to happen.
The potential matchup between John Jones and Tom Aspinall is making headlines. However, the current heavyweight champion is not interested in this bout as he wants to fight the light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira.
Pereira, though, that's somebody that interests me. Pereira has these great sagas with Adesanya and Jamal Hill. This guy is a champion killer like myself. That type of stuff entices me. You know, we're both 37. We both pretty much weigh the same right now. That type of stuff entices me, but I'm going for fights that will financially just put me in a different category.
Jones wants to build his legacy and earn more money. That's why he wants Pereira as his next opponent.
I'm going for fights that people will look at 10 years from now and be like, John Jones truly fought the who's who, like the killers. I'm done with the, guys that are trying to build names for themselves. The Francis Ngannou's of the world, the Pereiras of the world, proven guys. That's the only thing that can build my legacy at this point.
Even before his fight with Steve Miocic, John Jones completely ruled out the possibility of fighting Tom Aspinall.
If you defeat him, will you defend your belt against Aspinall, who has the interim title?
More than likely not. More than likely not. I feel like Tom Aspinall is, I don't want to say nobody, but just hasn't proven anything. He hasn't done anything. I'm not here to gamble someone else making a name off of me. I'm here to compete against the guy where when we look back, 10 years from now, it'd be like John Jones fought this guy and that guy and this legend and this champion and this champion.
John Jones has clearly said that he wants to fight Alex Pereira because it would put a positive impact on his legacy.
If there were to be a fight of a guy that's still on our UFC roster that would be not only financially worth it, but legacy worth it, it would be Alex Pereira. We're both 37 years old. Right now, I weigh about 235. I'm an incredibly light heavyweight. I think Pereira walks around at 240. I think that fight would go much farther on my legacy than a young man who's cool today and maybe gone tomorrow.
However, the heavyweight fighter recently said that he would only fight Tom Aspinall if he is offered a huge amount of money for this fight.
He's annoying to me. If I give him the opportunity to fight me, I want to be so compensated. I want to say it, I want that money. Honestly, a very, very high number. I want to be compensated to the point where if I won or lost, that it really wouldn't matter. Or else, my life is perfect without him. I don't need him at all, and he needs me.
After this statement of John Jones, many rumors started to build about the amount Jones wanted, and it was Joe Rogan who revealed that the heavyweight champion is demanding $30 million for this fight.
All right, guys, in the playoff.
Daniel Cormier was quick to respond to this demand, and he believed that John Jones is asking for too much money, and he didn't deserve that. Daniel Cormier explained how much money he and other star fighters used to make in their primes for bigger fights.
Was nowhere near that.
The UFC Hall of Famer totally rejected this demand of John Jones and said that this demand doesn't make any sense.
does that.
Daniel Cormier also recalled the recent Jon Jones versus Steve Miocic gate. He thinks it was a massive gate, but nowhere near to the money that Jones is asking for.
According to so crazy.
Cormier believed that Jon Jones would be happy to get even the half amount of the money he is demanding.
Rogan thinks that's been in California.
However, Joe Rogan has backed away from his previous statement and said all those claims were fake rumors, and there is no talk about the $30 million between Jones and UFC.
That Jon Jones wanted $30 million to fight Tom Aspinall. And I did hear that rumor. And I did hear that the UFC said yes, but it is not true. So Dana contacted me, said that rumor's. So I felt obligated to tell everybody that was a fake rumor.
Joe Rogan now thinks Jon Jones might now be thinking about his retirement. Rogan believes even after taking retirement, Jones can return anytime to challenge Aspinall.
What do you think the amount is that Jon Jones would fight him for, or do you think it's an amount?
Well, apparently Jon is thinking about retiring.
Yeah.
And he should. I mean, he's going to have to someday. He should. I'm not saying he should retire. I'm saying he should think about it. Give the man all the time he wants. He can fight whenever he wants to fight. That's Jon Jones. He's the GOAT. So leave him alone. If he decides one day to come back, and he comes back and he wants to fight Tom Aspinall for the heavyweight title, the question is, like, how long are you allowed to hold on to the title before they start having that conversation?
Joe also shared his thoughts about the future plans of Jon Jones. According to Rogan, Jon Jones can get a title shot whenever he wants after his retirement.
Now, he just knocked out Stipe Miocic, so give the man months. Give the man 5 or 6 months. Just leave him the alone. But at a certain point in time, you have to decide who the heavyweight champion is. And if Tom is the interim heavyweight champion and Jon decides he doesn't want to fight anymore, he could do that. And he could do that also and then come back in a year and fight for the title. He could do that. He could do whatever he wants. But he might decide, you know what? Had an unbelievable career, never lost, except the disqualification loss to a rule that has since been reversed. He's the GOAT. He retires. He's got plenty of money. He's got an opportunity to do some acting.
Chael Sonnen was also shocked to know that Jon Jones is demanding $30 million for fighting Tom Aspinall. Sonnen already knew that Joe Rogan had misunderstood the statement, and there is no reality in that.
Joe's not this dumb. He heard that Jon's gonna get $30 million. And I just share with you, like, he must have misspoke. There's no way that he did hear that on any level of good authority. And if he did hear that on good authority, there's no way that he was foolish enough to have believed it, but that is fiction.
The former UFC champion Chael Sonnen also claims that Jon Jones is only increasing the anticipation, and he will fight Tom Aspinall in 2025.
I can't get too into Jon Jones's wheelhouse, but I'll tell you two things. Publicly, he is saying he does not want Tom Aspinall. Privately, he is waiting for a phone call to tell him the date so he can go fight Tom Aspinall. That is as direct with you as I can be. That fight is a 100% go, and they could make it today. Anything that you're hearing that Jon Jones is holding that fight up, Jon Jones is having some fun with the fans because the fans have been a bit of jerks to him. As far as fighting Tom Aspinall, take me at my word when I tell you Jon Jones will be there.
The former UFC champion Michael Bisping also reacted to that statement of Joe Rogan. He said Jon Jones has played a masterful stroke and will earn heavy money from this fight.
Is that the greatest fighter of all time, talking about Johnny Bones Jones, is more than likely going to fight Tom Aspinall and more than likely gonna be paid around $30 million. That is what Joe Rogan was talking about on his podcast. And as we know, Jon Jones that kind of shied away from fighting Tom Aspinall leading up to the Stipe fight, which was an absolutely stroke of genius in terms of marketing because it drove the demand through the roof, sky high, made it the fight that everybody wants to see. Well, guess what? The man is gonna get paid properly. More than likely.
Michael Bisping believed that Jon Jones might get $30 million for this fight by comparing Rampage Jackson's salary in 2007.
I mean, Joe Rogan says he's asking for around $30 million, and there's a good possibility that they would pay it, and I agree. Look, listen, contrary to popular belief, the biggest stars in the UFC, they do make tremendous money. In fact, I'm not breaking any secrets here because I was on the Jackson podcast last week, and way back in 2007, I think Rampage said he was paid $7 or $9 million, and that was almost 20 years ago.
However, the problem is John Jones hasn't agreed to face Tom Aspinall yet and is still looking for a fight with Alex Pereira.
I'm not really worried about the Tom fight. I'm really worried about the Pereira fight. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do, and I think if the UFC wants to have me back, then I think that's the fight they'll make. I've been really clear about my intentions. That's what I want.
John Jones knows his retirement is near, and that's why he wants to compete against tougher guys for his legacy before hanging his gloves.
I just feel like anybody would understand at this point. Like, I'll retire the heavyweight belt if I have to. It's like, dude, give the guy what he wants at the end of the day, And I'm not talking to Dana directly. I feel like I'm at a place now where, like I want to take what I find to be super fights. I don't want to fight dangerous up-and-comers anymore. I want to fight dangerous, established champions. So Tom can have the heavyweight championship. I don't really care about it. That my value doesn't lie in belts anymore. I've created something much bigger. I want Pereira.
After these statements of John Jones, the fans started to believe that Jones is ducking Aspinall, but Dana White canceled out all those rumors and backed the heavyweight champion.
The Tom Aspinall, John Jones situation. Firstly, are you still confident we get that fight this year?
Yeah, there's no situation. It's the biggest fight that we can make. And, I know the fans like to mess with John or whatever. John Jones isn't afraid of anybody. And John Jones will fight anybody. It's just a matter of getting the fight done now. That's our job.
Moreover, Dana White feels the John Jones versus Alex Pereira fight makes no sense. Dana advised Pereira to not damage his UFC record by fighting a much tougher and bigger opponent like John Jones.
You know what tonight told me? There's no fucking way I make the Pereira fight.
Okay.
John's too big. Great wrestler. See how he took Stipe down in that first round?
Yeah.
I like Alex Pereira. I like him personally,
But he's the greatest of all time, right?
It just doesn't make sense to make that fight. If they both want it bad enough and they're both hounding me or something, maybe I would do it. It's just Alex Pereira is killing it. Look at his age and what he's doing right now. What's the reason to go up and fight a guy that's so much bigger than you and such a good wrestler?
On the other hand, the heavyweight champion doesn't agree with Dana White, and he feels that Alex Pereira has the skills to face any heavyweight fighter at the moment.
Dana was in here and he said that he would really like not to make the Pereira fight, but if you and Alex did hound him, he would consider it. But he said that realistically, that's not a fight he wants to see because he thinks your skills with the wrestling and the size would sort of outweigh what Pereira has to offer. I'm curious what you think about Dana's take on that.
Man, styles mix matchups. And I'm sure Pereira's knocked out many heavyweights in his day. I mean, he has a knockout power that transcends, like, it's bigger than weight. Pereira's special. And for me, it'd just be worth my while fighting against Pereira. People can call me a duck and a chicken. I'm gonna go home and cash a massive check.
The light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira shared his verdict on this potential matchup between John Jones and Tom Aspinall. He picked John Jones to retain his heavyweight title.
Who do you think wins, John or Tom?
I think it's actually going John Jones or Tom Aspinall.
Oh, actually John Jones. John Jones. And for you, are these two, are you interested in Tom?
The godfather of UFC commentator Joe Rogan looks excited to know how Tom Aspinall will proceed in a fight with John Jones.
It's a bit of a problem for him, right? Because he has not been tested in that way. And, you're getting up to elite status where you're calling out John Jones.
Yeah.
Right? That's the boogeyman. Like, John Jones is the boogeyman. And maybe he hasn't died, but he's probably knocked on the door a couple of times like, what's going on, Death? You in there? John Jones has had some trials and tribulations, but the skill set and the ability to push deep into rounds.
The former UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya backed Tom Aspinall to beat the heavyweight champion in their potential matchup.
Who wins, Aspinall, John Jones?
If that does happen.
I don't know, man. But Aspinall, the way he dispatched over,
The Russian guy,
oh
yeah.
my God. But he's the same height as me, if not an inch taller, but thick.
Yeah.
The speed.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I'm like, okay, that's the danger. But again, grappling, he's a black belt.
Leg bump. Who gives him?
John is
That's different.
They gotta fight, but if they don't ever fight, we'll never know.
Dana White also praised the confidence of Tom Aspinall to challenge stronger opponents. He feels Aspinall can surprise everyone by beating John Jones.
I interviewed Tom Aspinall in London. He wants to fight John Jones.
He wants to fight everybody, man.
He thinks he'll beat John Jones.
Yes, he does. I love it. I love that. And a young, aggressive, talented heavyweight that he actually wants to fight all the best. The problem in this business is you have guys that say a lot of things publicly, but behind the curtains don't mean it. You know, don't really want these fights. Tom Aspinall is not that guy. Tom Aspinall wants to fight all the best in the world, and I love that.
How good is he?
Very good. We're going to find out, though. You know, we make this John Jones fight, and obviously a fight like that for a young, talented heavyweight, you know, if he can win and he can beat John Jones, it's life-changing.
On the contrary, the heavyweight fighter Frank Mir picked John Jones to defend his title against Tom Aspinall.
I think Tom might have the best chance of anybody to beat John right now. But that being said, I still think John wins the fight just because of his wrestling. I think he puts, you know, Tom on his back and is able to nullify his jiu-jitsu from being top position with his elbows and control. What does John win to take that fight? He goes out there and beats Tom. Is it really going to make or break his career? I don't think anybody gives a
Sean O'Malley also shared his thoughts about Tom Aspinall fighting John Jones and elaborated what could be the concerns of the heavyweight champion.
Fuck. Tom Aspinall? God damn. It's like everyone, it's like you risk going down as the, no matter what, you don't have to fight again. Greatest of all time, people will say that. You're the greatest of all time. Greatest of all, John Jones. Or you risk it, go fight Tom Aspinall, possibly lose, and then it's like, he was the greatest. Then they're saying, yeah, but he wasn't in his prime, so you're still the greatest of all time. But are you? Like, what do you do? Just completely avoid that fight?
So this is all we have from today's video, and hopefully you have enjoyed it. Share your thoughts about this potential matchup between John Jones and Tom Aspinall in the comments section. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more interesting content. Press the bell icon to get instant notifications about our latest videos.